On today's episode of the Mark Titus Show, San Diego State and UConn will be playing for a national championship after a fun night of basketball on Saturday night. Jake Marsh is here with me. He's going to be joining me all show. We were in the building together on Saturday to watch San Diego State in the dream run of your beloved Florida Atlantic Owls, your hometown Florida Atlantic Owls, and then you had to follow it up to watch your other hometown Miami Hurricanes.
Well, I grew up a Gator fan, so
you didn't really care about either one of these goals.
But in this tournament, I wanted them both to win.
You became a Florida guy. San Diego State, incredible second half comeback, down 14. We'll talk about some of the coaching decisions late in the game. That's been getting a lot of play. We'll talk about San Diego State's comeback and offensive rebounding and also, Jake, can anybody beat UConn? Can San Diego State actually beat UConn? Could anybody beat UConn? Could the 96 Bulls at this point beat UConn? This is incredible how well UConn is playing their historic run through this NCAA tournament. But at the same time, San Diego State, they get down big. They find ways to come back. They've beaten some very, very good teams to get to the national championship. UConn is a heavy favorite going into this thing. Anything can happen. We'll see. I don't know. We'll talk through it. We're going to talk a little bit about Saturday. Maybe do some preview for the title game on Monday. But we're here. We made it to Houston. Boots on the ground. It was so good to be back in the stadium. I don't want to talk too much. Let's just get into the show. Let's rock. Let's do it. All right, let's start with the first game, obviously. San Diego State, Florida Atlantic. The second one wasn't much of a game.
Not much to break down there.
Much of a game, to be honest. So first game, my initial thoughts, and I say this lovingly, San Diego State fans, and you might even agree with me at this point. I don't care either way, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna say how I honestly feel. Florida Atlantic was the better team. Florida Atlantic proved to be the better team throughout this game. This game was not. Did not take the feel of what I expected. I expected this to be a very close game. I thought both teams are equally good in my eyes as I thought about like how this game might play out. Like, man, San Diego State is so tough and they can they're so deep and they'll just be rotating guys in and play great defense and they're never out of any game as we saw against Alabama. And they can close well as we saw against Creighton. But at the same time, Florida Atlantic, same sort of story. Like their guard play is incredible, and I felt like they would probably have the best players on the floor, all told. Even though San Diego State's probably a bigger brand nationally. I mean, John L. Davis is probably going to play in the league. Elijah Martin might play in the league. I don't know. I have to check with my mock draft guys. But you think about it from that standpoint, you're like, man, this is truly a coin flip. So the fact that it comes down to the final shot, Jake, not exactly a surprise to me. The fact that this game was played in the 70s was stunning. I could not believe the shot making from both teams that was going on. Out of the gate, Florida Atlantic they go up 3-0 immediately with like a quick three, and just kind of set the tone where San Diego State the whole first half was on their back heel defensively. Which was very, very uncharacteristic of them, and I just kept turning to you throughout the game. I was like Owen Wilson, wow. So I was like, wow, like every time Florida Atlantic was dicing up San Diego State, because I was stunned. I think they were stunned. Because San Diego State going to the game, I think I talked about it on the show, the preview. They're so good at guarding the 3-point line, and Nathan Mintz is so good at erasing shots at the rim. But Florida Atlantic did a good job of pushing tempo a little bit, of not letting San Diego State get fully set defensively, of being patient with like reads coming off ball screens and getting open threes, and like San Diego State just seemed like they are so used to dictating the terms defensively and saying we're going to make the offense have to adjust to what we're doing. And that whole first half, it was the opposite. They were adjusting to Florida Atlantic, and they were like, we don't know if we should give up threes to Florida Atlantic or we should let them drive and kick, and they're just running in circles. And then you and I go into the media room because
that was my biggest take.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I want to bring you in for.
Yeah.
We go to the media room at halftime because we know it's like a 30-minute halftime in these freaking NCAA tournament games. We're like, let's go get a snack. Let's go
commercials and sponsors.
Yeah. Let's go get a chocolate chip cookie and a coffee or something.
They were good.
They were very good. Good. Yeah. Shout out to the media room snacks. And we're walking back on the floor or back to our seats at the same time San Diego State's coming out of the tunnel.
Down 7.
They're down 7 at this point at halftime. And tell the people what you saw, Jake.
I saw a team that looked dead. I saw a team that was already mentally going home. We looked at each other. We both agreed. We said, this game's over. FAU's in the championship game.
Yeah,
they just didn't look like they wanted to be there.
They did not have the juice. San Diego State comes moping out of the locker room. Heads are down. They're shuffling their feet like as they're walking. They can't even really pick up their feet. There's no one that's really like clapping it up. No one.
Not one person.
And we looked at each other like, oh my God, this is shocking for a team so old. And so they're only down 7 at halftime, and they've been, they can come back. But I think like my read on it in that moment was like, this speaks to what I witnessed in the first half, which is that they have no answers. This isn't just like we're down 7, but if we stick with our game plan, we'll come back. It was at that time, it was like, we are fucked. This is we have no idea. We know who we are, and we brought that to Houston, and now all of a sudden after 20 minutes of basketball, we have no idea who we are anymore. And that was the vibe I got watching San Diego State coming out of the locker room.
It was crazy.
Then Jake, it even felt that way at the start because Florida Atlantic came out in the second half.
14 with 14 minutes left, 56-42.
So even like part of me looks back on that and I was like, damn, we were very wrong.
Yeah.
Like maybe they obviously didn't give up, but then also like they came out.
We knew ball. For a minute there.
But then also they came out very, very flat in the second half, and Florida Atlantic gets the big lead. And San Diego State, just as they've done, man, they do not quit. They are relentless. It's partly a testament to the culture of San Diego State basketball, but also I think this specific team being so deep, it just allows Dutcher to just like tinker with like Jaden Ledee played like 15 minutes.
He's your Buckeye, right?
Yeah, he was originally a Buckeye. So Ohio State back in the national championship game. Let's go.
Big Ten. Back.
But he played like 15 minutes, I want to say, in this game. Maybe a little more. Was it 18?
12 points in 14 minutes.
Yeah. So, but this is a great example of how deep this team is. That you have a guy like him that comes in, and I think he averages like I honestly haven't looked it up. Let me guess. Are you gonna click on it right now?
I'll find it.
I'm gonna guess that he averages 4.1 points a game. No, that's way too high. He averages 3.3.
3.3 is your guess.
3.3. Lock me
you're
in.
way off.
What does he average?
7.9.
7.9. All right. Point is,
Houston guy.
He is well, there you go, hometown guy. Point is, Jaden Ledee is a guy who you catch him on some nights and he does nothing. You catch him on other nights and he was like the guy down the stretch for San Diego State. He did these spin moves in the lane, those little hook shots, he played 15 minutes. 15 minutes?
14 minutes.
14 minutes. I don't know why I keep saying 15. He plays 14 minutes though, and my bigger point with this is that San Diego State has 9 guys that they can throw out there, and the luxury with that is that none of them, even Matt Bradley, who played awesome in this game and is their leading scorer and is kind of, he's the guy that they turn to when they have no offense and they're like, Matt, please save us. Even he's not above like when he stinks, they can just throw him on the bench and they can just throw 5 guys out. Like they're not structured to where like guys have to play a certain amount of minutes, and that's a luxury because you can just tinker with lineups and figure out what works and find the guys
especially
that are playing
with seniors,
well.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's what the locker room thing was. That they're like, we're veterans, we can handle this. No need to freak out.
We have plenty of time.
Yeah, maybe
there's no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
maybe that's why they were not fired up. But whatever it was, man, they got so many. I think they got 7 offensive rebounds in 2 minutes.
FAU could not buy a rebound down the stretch there.
I read it last night, and I wish I wrote it down, but I think it was 7 offensive rebounds in a 2-minute span, Jake.
I think I saw something like that too. Maybe 9. Yeah, a lot. A lot.
The point is a lot in a little bit of time.
Yeah,
a lot of them on free throws too.
Mm-hmm.
Florida Atlantic. I mean, I guess we could talk about their side of it because San Diego State, credit to them for coming back, hitting the
all-time shot.
Yep. But it really did feel like. I turned to you at one point as the game was winding down, and San Diego State would like come back and tie it, and then they give up like a 4-0 run or something, and then they would come back and tie it or come back and cut it to 1, and then Florida Atlantic would kind of build it back up to 6 or so. And as that kept happening, I turned to you and I said, I don't think San Diego State wants the lead. It feels like they're purposely, because they would go to the free throw line and brick free throws, and you're like, are you doing this on purpose?
Yeah,
like,
but they would get those. You called it. That one sequence, you're like, FAU is going to miss this, but SDSU is going to get their offensive rebound.
They're going to get the offensive rebound. Yeah, exactly. and it felt like it was almost intentional. It felt like they were like purposely like, if we get the lead, then Florida Atlantic is going to realize they're in trouble, and then they're going to flip a switch. So let's continue to let them feel like they're safe, and we're just going to hit a shot at the buzzer as our point guard just dribbles around aimlessly and throws up a.
I have to double check this, but I think the buzzer beater was their first lead since like 24-23 or something.
It was. I can't confirm.
Yeah.
I can't confirm. They led with like
midway
the 7 minute mark. Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
and that was it.
And they had that 14-0 run after FAU went up 5-0.
Right.
But after that, it was all FAU.
It was all FAU.
Yeah.
Quick break to talk about our friends at Rhoback Activewear. It's the best time of year, and there's no better way to spend it than with Rhoback. The last weekend in March may be the best weekend of all of sports, and it isn't the same without Rhoback. First, Rhoback's performance hoodies are a total game changer, maybe the softest, stretchiest hoodies in the game. They're moisture wicking too, so when you're sweating out that bet or bracket buster, Rhoback's hoodies will get you through. Second, Rhoback's performance Q-zips bring a new meaning to the word comfortable. They are the definition of versatile, perfect to rock in an arena or on your couch. These Q-zips are incredible. Finally, Rhoback's performance joggers are made for spring. They're flexible, allowing for easy movement and celebrations when that buzzer beater falls. Rhoback has been gaining traction big time. Get ready for spring with Rhoback. I have 1,000 Rhoback things at this point, and they're all awesome because you just throw them on, and whether you're going golfing, going out to a nice dinner, something in between, it's appropriate for everything, and it feels great, and it's comfortable. So use the code Titus on Rhoback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase. RHOBACK.com, 20% off all hoodies, quarter zips, polos, and joggers with code Titus. Rhoback.com. It was all FAU, and I guess let's talk about the FAU part of this because very devastating loss for them. Obviously, I think the where my mind immediately goes is they'll be back. They should bring all 5 starters back. Yep. Dusty May signed a long-term contract, but also even if he didn't want to, there's really no other jobs for him to take right now. So he's definitely going to be back. You hope that no one comes in with the name, image, likeness bag and tries to pull one of these guys away. I don't think that's going to happen.
And NIL is the only threat to break up this core, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen because these dudes are good. I love especially Elijah Martin and John L. David. John L. was not good in this game, but I love those two dudes. But I don't. They lose Forrest off the bench. He was a senior.
He was their first recruit, or Dusty's first recruit. He's the veteran leader, but 5 starters.
I think he's out of eligibility, but so they bring back 5 starters. And I don't think NIL is going to be a problem for them because I do love those two guys especially, but I just can't imagine a world where like a Kentucky or it's always Kentucky or Duke when you want to come up with these examples. Pick another school, Indiana. In Indiana, they lost Jalen Hood-Schifino. It's not like Indiana is gonna offer $1 million bag to John L. Davis. And at what point? The math that it would take to make it worth it for him to leave FAU, I don't think he's going to get to that point. So Indiana might come in and be like, we'll give you $200,000, but at that point, if you're John L. Davis, is that worth it to break up? You've built this thing.
Yeah.
You came into Florida Atlantic as a nobody. You're now a somebody. You're playing in the Final Four. You're a shot away from playing for a national championship. Why would you take the bag? I don't know. It's not my life. People make decisions all the time that they think are better for them. He is from Indiana, maybe. I don't know, but. I personally hope and expect all these guys to be back.
Yeah, and again, I understand a blue blood's a blue blood, and if a blue blood's offering you a bag, you can definitely consider that. But this may be a little bit biased. There are much worse places to live than Boca year round. Right? Yeah. So it's think about the outside basketball stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't know. The coaching staff, I don't know. Yeah. The vibes for getting their hearts broken, the vibes seem to be we're going to use this as a learning experience. We'll be back.
Well, this is the problem. They will be back, and I think they will be a top 10 team coming into next season.
You mentioned the comparison of Wichita.
Exactly.
Right? 2013,
but this
2014.
Is the problem, Jake. 2013, 2014. Wichita, 2013, they go to the Final Four. They were, I believe, an 8 or 9.
Yeah,
they were 9?
They
were 9. They were 9.
Were they a 9?
Well, I know they beat Gonzaga in the second round. I think they were a 9. Were they an 8? It doesn't matter.
I know they were an 8.
9s are always hard to remember. I know they beat Gonzaga in the second round. Gonzaga was the 1 seed. So they were an 8 or 9. And then Wichita brings all their core back, and they go undefeated the next year. But then what happened, Jake, in 2014? Do you remember?
They lost to Kentucky in the second round. That's that was right during Selection Sunday. Everyone's like, they got screwed.
Yeah. So your instinct with Florida Atlantic is to say, damn, this blows. They did choke this away. It's a devastating loss. Obviously, I felt like they were the better team.
They were 9. Sorry.
They were. Wichita State
they were
was 9.
Yeah, I needed to look.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, no, that's good. That's good that we set the record straight.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, this is brutal, but at least Florida Atlantic will be back and they'll, be in a better position. If they have the exact same season they have this year, this is what's fucked about the committee.
We talked about this too, yeah.
The committee pretends like they're neutral and that none of this stuff matters and that they just look at the hard data and all that sort of thing. If Florida Atlantic has the exact same metrics next year and they go 35-3,
maybe a 6 or 7 seed if they're lucky.
Dude, they'll be like no, they're going to be way higher. What I'm saying is
I don't know what their non-conference looks like too.
No, you're not understanding the hypothetical here, Jake.
Okay.
They have the exact same season that they have this year, but they just run it back next year.
Same schedule,
same strength of schedule.
But we know they were in the Final Four.
We know that they went to the Final Four. This time they have some brand equity.
They'll be a 4 or 5.
They'll be way higher. They'll be like a 3 or a 2.
You think?
That's the way this stupid committee works.
Yeah. Like they could say metrics all they want. Like there's definitely some sort of just eye test.
Of course. Oh, absolutely, it's eye test. It's absolutely eye test. So, but to that point, I do think they're going to be ranked in the top 10. You were skeptical of that too when I was talking to you about this. Like everyone comes back, you're like, do you think they'll be ranked high? I was like, yes.
15, preseason if they bring back everyone. Like, look, I would love to see them have a great season again. People didn't really start paying attention to them until March. Like to keep it on. There's always like 1 or 2 mid majors. They're like, look out for them. Like. At the preseason,
right?
Look out for them. They can make a deep run in the tournament. Like they would be one of those teams.
They're going to be top 10, I think. If Carolina, I mean, they have the exact same path that Carolina had, except this year they were actually good all year, and Carolina was like not great until the end. Like Carolina last season was not great until towards the end of the season. Then they kind of turned it on, and then they had obviously the hot NCAA tournament. Florida Atlantic was like great all season. They just they
4 losses.
They just didn't play an awesome schedule. And then they were 1 shot away, as we know, from the national championship. Like that was what Carolina was. They were 1 shot. Carolina was 1 shot away from losing in the national championship, and then Florida Atlantic went against them. Dogs will eat anything: shoes, toilet paper, garbage, and even kibble. But just because they'll eat it doesn't mean it's healthy food. Here's an idea. What if dogs ate real food? Eating processed food for every meal is not healthy. We all know that, and kibble is subject to multiple rounds of high heat processing, making it an ultra-processed food. Try something fresh. Feed your dog the farmer's dog. It's real, fresh, healthy food with whole meat and veggies, gently cooked in human-grade kitchens to preserve their nutritional value. Just tell them about your dog, and they'll deliver personalized, vet-developed recipes for as little as $2 a day. Meals arrived in pre-portioned, ready-to-serve packs, conveniently delivered on your schedule. Dog people all across the country have ordered millions of meals from the farmer's dog, myself included. We just got Moses hooked up with the farmer's dog, and this man goes bananas for the beef. The farmer's dog beef, he's nuts for it. It's so good. And I love to see this dog happy, and I know that everyone listening, you want to see your dog happy. It has never been easier to invest in your dog's health with fresh food, so get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/Titus. Plus, get free shipping. Go to thefarmersdog.com/Titus. Get 50% off. Thefarmersdog.com/Titus. Do it now. All right, some of the coaching decisions down the stretch, because this is a big talking point. I depending on your perspective, both of these coaches really blew it. Both of these coaches were geniuses. I guess Dusty May, no one's really saying he's a genius because he lost, and that's kind of how it works. Like, no, if Lamont Butler missed the shot, I don't think anyone's really. I think everyone's just pointing to Brian Dutcher and saying he's
should have extended the game.
That was crazy, though.
Yeah,
that was so
6
ballsy.
Seconds?
6.5 second differential,
which is like you could have an argument for both.
There was plenty of time because we were talking about it during all the 17,000 timeouts that were called. Should San Diego State foul here? Should they just play defense because there's 6.5 second differential? I said that I thought they were going to foul because I thought like under normal circumstances San Diego State would not foul. Because they're so good defensively, and it's kind of like it's like the football analogy. This happens all the time. Like, do you trust your defense or do you want to, when coaches get put in late game situations, do you trust your defense? And that's how like people think about football. That's basically what San Diego State is. They're like a football team. Their defense is stout, except on this night, their defense was not. So I thought maybe Dutcher would like read the situation that had unfolded in front of him over the course of 39 minutes and say, I don't know if I necessarily trust these guys to get a stop. He did. Credit to him for that. But then we were talking about, do they have enough time? And then this is where like people did the revisionist or the hindsight 2020 deal where you're like, if you're Florida Atlantic, a layup that did it get blocked or did he just get challenged? And we had terrible seats. I couldn't.
Oh, shout out to NCAA for credentialing us. Yeah.
We didn't have terrible seats. I blinked as the shot went up, so I couldn't see if it was blocked or not. But John L. Davis drives, puts up the shot, misses, and it kind of triggers a fast break a little bit for San Diego State. And I saw people like saying like, why take that shot? Like all you had to do, first of all, you should have milked the clock more. Shoot a shot, just throw the ball up in the air and have it hit there. I want to address that part.
That's a crazy risk. Like you can't.
Crazy risk. First of all,
no, you're gonna do that.
Secondly, no coach, and there's not a coach in this country on planet Earth that coaches basketball that would in that situation draw up a way for his guy to miss a shot in the flow of a game.
Like if you drop a play and score, you're up 3. You can follow up 3 and win the game.
There's no world where if even if it worked out, if I found out after the game that Dusty May had in the timeout, he was like, all right, boys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna milk the clock down until there's 1 second on the shot clock. Then I want you to throw up just the highest arcing 3 you can and try to hit the rim, but miss it. So that way the ball bounces around and there's chaos. All right, that's what we're gonna do.
Imagine knowing where a missed shot would go every time.
Yeah,
be the best rebounder in the entire world.
Instead of drawing up a play to get a bucket, instead of like trusting your guys. So of course, like that was absurd. Like I don't have any problem with what Dusty May drew up there. Like they could have done a little better job maybe at like stemming the tide as San Diego State's coming back and they're kind of doing it like in a methodical way and grabbing all these offensive rebounds. Like maybe if you want to get on them about that, of like, I don't know, call timeout and motherfuck your guys for giving up these free throw offensive rebounds. Sure. The end of the game, I didn't really have a problem with it. I actually felt like Florida Atlantic, I felt like Dutcher really, really took the huge risks. And he was the one that made the quote unquote bad decisions.
Easily just extended the game.
Yeah. Did not extend the game. Did not call timeout as like chaos was unfolding in front of him. But in the end, it all worked out, and everybody kind of, not everybody wins, but like I honestly, I came away from it. I was like, I don't think the coaching decisions were bad
you're not blaming.
I don't blame either coach. I blame the fact that this is the NCAA tournament. One team has to win and one team has to lose, and in a 1-point game with 6 seconds left,
also
chaos happens.
We were talking about this on Part of My Take. It seemed like Butler had no idea how much time was left until like 2 seconds left, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to get a shot off.
Oh no,
until he pulled up.
I don't think he was planning. I don't know. I didn't. I don't
think he was going to pass, and if he passed, it's game over.
Yeah, I think he was originally when he got the ball. His plan was like, go till I get stopped, then I'm going to pass. Because that's kind of like if you're him and you're used to being a guard like that, that's sort of your mentality. I think if the ball was in Matt Bradley's hands, I would have said this is 100% going up no matter what happens. But with Butler, I didn't necessarily think. Because Trammell was out there too, and I think Bradley, or were they? I couldn't remember because there was chaos on the.
I think he said Bradley was on the bench.
Oh, Bradley was on the bench.
I think because there was no timeout, there was no defensive substitutions.
Yeah,
I have to double check. So I don't know if even Bradley was on the floor.
I blinked.
It was such a blur. Yeah,
I blinked at that moment too. Yes. It definitely wasn't because I had
tough coincidence.
Yeah. But I think I'm just guessing, but I'm guessing Lamont Butler's mindset was like, I'm going to drive until they stop me. Like, I'm going to go coast to coast and get a layup. Then he gets walled off, and he's like, well, shit, now I think he's introducing the idea of passing, and then he realizes he has to get a shot up because you can't pass. You're right. If he passes,
we're out of time.
We're out of time.
Because it was a true buzzer beater. Like, it was really
close. And then
close.
He puts it up and hits it, and oh, my God, dude.
You just to
be in a building for a moment like that is incredible. It was just incredible. So I feel for Florida Atlantic. It's all time stuff for San Diego State. I mean, it's been like a dream run for them to get to this point. I saw a handful of SDSU fans in our hotel, and I was like, man, what a night. And they were like, honestly, whatever happens Monday, I almost
2020 redemption.
You kind of say that to yourself, but when Monday rolls around
and you lose, you'll be devastated.
They'll be devastated. But they were saying on Saturday night, they're like, honestly, if we get smoked on, who cares? This has been an incredible ride. Like, oh my God, this was so fun, you know. And they know we're playing with house money. It's icing on the cake, yada yada. When the game tips off against UConn, they're going to be like, we have to win it. You know, we cannot lose. I don't want to lose this at all. But yeah, it was an all-time game, and I can't believe how entertaining it was. Matt Bradley was awesome in this game. He's had some stinkers in the NCAA tournament, but yeah, he's been the guy the last couple of years. It's like I said earlier, he's like the guy that can go get them a bucket for a team that struggles to do that, and he was hot out of the gate. And Elijah Martin played the game of his life, man. He was awesome. So yeah, it was one of those games like someone had to lose, and it sucks that they did. But I do feel for Florida Atlantic because if you want to say they choked it away, I'm not going to stop you. I don't want to be that mean.
You're up 14 with 14 minutes left.
I don't want to twist the knife, but if you want to say it, Jake, do you want to say it?
No, I couldn't do that to my hometown guys.
TJ, do you want to say it? Sure. All right, TJ said it. There you go. Yeah. TJ said it. I didn't say it. TJ said it. TJ said Florida Atlantic choked it away. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that point.
Yeah.
Quick break to talk about Gametime, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, created by fans for fans. Gametime is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. I cannot wait to get to Chicago and go to some Cubs games. Wrigley Field is the best place on earth. I can't wait to take TJ to a Cubs game. You've never been. We talked about that. Yeah, you've never been to Wrigley Field. We're going to make that happen. It's all going to be possible with the Gametime app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. The purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds. And once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text, so you can get into the game seamlessly. Skip the hassle and enjoy the moment. Download the Gametime app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code Titus for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. UConn, though. San Diego State gets the big win. They now have to play the Huskies. Everyone listening to this, actually, they're going to play tonight. This coming out on Monday, so big game tonight. UConn is just freaking dominant, dude. I mean, UConn, Jordan Hawkins, first of all, hits a 3 to start the game.
And what else does he do in the first few minutes?
He gets a wedgie, Jake. He gets a wedgie.
He was not proud.
Yeah, you talked to him about it.
I interviewed him. He said a wedgie is more embarrassing than an air ball. Embrace the bait. You said he had an argument for it.
Okay,
right?
So first of all, Jordan Hawkins is my favorite player in college basketball, and this season, let's not get crazy. But he's been my favorite player all season. Incredible shooter. He's the best. I think he's the best shooter in college.
I remember he wasn't 100% for this game. He had an illness. He missed Friday's practice.
Right. I think he's the best shooter in college basketball, whether the stats back it up or not. He takes way tougher shots than some of the other guys that shoot high percentage from 3. So for me, he's the best shooter. I don't feel like I'm in a position to say that he's wrong on this wedgie versus air ball.
Okay.
You know, he's way more qualified to talk about this than I am.
He actually said it was his first time, which is crazy. You know how many shots he's taken?
That's the first wedgies.
Yeah.
Because wedgies aren't normal, dude. This doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. There's a conspiracy at play with this freaking ball on the backboard. Like, this doesn't happen. I'm not in a position to say that he's wrong. But also, this is my show, and I'm going to go ahead and say he's wrong. That airballing.
They're on my side.
Well, I think I said to you that if you airball a shot and the play continues, like you airball it and like the defense catches it and away they go.
Have numbers.
And they have numbers, whatever. I don't think that's as bad but airballing it out of bounds, because like basically what makes the wedgie so embarrassing is you have to stop the game
because of your poor
shot. You miss so badly that now everybody has to stop. We have to go get the ball. We have to unwedge the ball, or if you airballed it and it like bounced into the bleachers, now we have to go go retrieve the ball. You miss so badly, we have to pause everything to go fix your mistake. That's what makes it embarrassing. So I think a wedgie's more embarrassing than an air ball that like isn't a dead ball.
Yeah,
but it's definitely not more embarrassing.
But an air ball is like you're not strong.
What do you mean?
Like you don't have enough muscle to get it to the rim.
Yeah,
if it's short.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. An air ball is embarrassing. Yeah, but I think it's the act of like everybody stopping and looking at you, and you just have to hang your head as you're walking back on. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
He knows more than us.
Yeah, but Hawkins is more. So he's not 100% in this game. As expected with Dan Hurley, I mean, it's just a sandbagging son of a bitch move to make it seem like Jordan Hawkins is dying and, like he's not practicing at all, and word coming out of UConn that, he's not. I'm exaggerating, I think maybe a little bit, but that was my fear, because I was like, UConn's way better than Miami, but if Hawkins isn't 100%, I still like UConn's still better than Miami, but like this becomes very interesting. Maybe I don't know. Like this could get interesting. So out of the gate, he hits a 3, and I'm like, all right, this man's healthy. But then he doesn't do anything the rest of the first half. Andre Jackson gets in foul trouble. He's out for the whole first half basically. And UConn still rolls, dude. And at halftime, I mean, I and the rest of the world watching were like, this is disgusting.
A lot of people left at halftime.
This is absolutely disgusting. This team is on a completely different level right now. And as I'm watching it, I'm just thinking to myself, how the hell did this team lose to St. John's at home? How did this happen this year? Like what? Because this UConn team is in a position, if they can close the deal on Monday, and I don't even think at this point they need to really blow San Diego State out.
Just win the game.
I think you just got to win comfortably. If you win on a last-second shot, like I think your legacy, it becomes a little. But whatever, you're national champions. If they cover the spread, they don't have to cover this. What's the spread? 8
now.
8.
Yeah.
They win by 6. Say. I think UConn is in a position, if they win by 6, to be thought of as an all-time great NCAA tournament team. But I can't help but think, like, if you don't just like have that disastrous January,
5 out of 6.
You could have been an all-time team, like a legitimately all-time, not just like an NCAA tournament all-time team. Like this could have been one of the great teams. Because I'm thinking about it, this might be the best UConn team of all the UConn teams that won national titles. This one honestly might be.
I think wasn't Kemba's team a 3 seed? I know by seed.
Yeah,
and then Shabazz was a 7.
7. In 99, they were huge underdogs to Duke. I think the 04 team is considered probably the best. I mean, Kimba, and I'm in no position. I'm not a UConn fan. There are plenty of UConn fans that are already mad at me because I don't. Apparently, some of UConn fans think I'm a UConn hater because I don't just, I'm not jerking them off to the level that they would like me to. Even though in November I was saying you're the best team in the country, and here we are. But that's neither here nor there. But I think. So UConn fans, feel free to disagree, but my read on it is that like Kimba was the most magical run, and so like that's like the team that like everyone's favorite, but the 04 team with Ben Gordon and Emeka Okafor was like the best team, like that was like the actual best team, but like when they won it, it was more of a ho hum, like we knew we were gonna win it. Yeah. 99 was fun because Duke was a heavy favorite in the title game. And it was shocking, and it was their first one, and they were kind of in what San Diego State's shoes are right now. Like so, they get their first title in a huge upset. Yeah. And then Shabazz, I don't think that's any UConn's fans. I think every UConn fan looks back on that as like that's insane that we did that with Kevin Ollie as our coach. Yeah. As a 7 seed. So I think this might be the best UConn team. This could potentially be the best UConn team.
They also had they were 14-0. They had an impressive non-conference. They won the PK 85, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, Oregon, Alabama, Iowa State. They also beat Oklahoma State, Florida.
They beat because Purdue. It was a double thing. So there was 2 going on at the same time. Purdue won the other one, and that's why the big debate coming out of the PK 85 was is it Purdue or UConn? And I was banging the drum for UConn because I saw what we're seeing now. But now that we're here, I'm just like, how the hell? What the hell happened in January? So I need that story. Like I might actually buy this championship DVD if they can finish this job on Monday, because I want to just fast forward to the part of the championship DVD where they break down what the hell happened in January. And I assume they're just going to say like Big East officials, or like it's hard to win on the road, or I don't know. I have to believe that like someone that there was some sort of illness going around. There was some sort of
it could be the holidays. Like teams always just lay eggs sometimes.
Let me see. Do you have it in front of you?
So they did come back. That was the famous Jeff Anderson game. By the way, he officiated this game December 28th when he called him a clown, effing clown.
That was Villanova?
Yeah.
When they beat Villanova.
So they won that game, but then they lost 5 out of 6. So it could be sometimes New Year's holidays, because these guys get to go home for a few days, so you lose their momentum.
So they're 14-0 going to Xavier, and they lose at Xavier. And I remember watching that game because Andre Jackson shot 12 threes, and I was like pulling my hair out. Like, why do you? Xavier kept leaving him wide open, and he was like, I guess I'll take it then. And I'm screaming at the TV, they're leaving you open for a reason. So I remember that wasn't a bad loss. I mean, it was obviously
keep in mind, 4 of these 5 games are road Big East games.
Yeah, I was going to go through them real quick for the people. Xavier was a great team this year. Providence was at the time they were good. They ended up being pretty good. It's not that's a road loss. Then you beat Creighton at home. You lose to Marquette, who wins the Big East. You lose to Seton Hall eventually. It's the St. John's game at home.
One bad game
by 11 points, Jake.
Yeah, that's a really bad game. But it's one. I feel like every team has one really bad game,
but not in a 6-game, not in a losing stretch like that. Like that's when at that point in time, it feels like the bottom's falling out.
Yeah,
that's why I want to watch this championship DVD, because I need the behind the scenes stories of what the hell happened. And that's what's like if they just lose a couple of those, Xavier swept them, and then Xavier turns around and beats them in Stores. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was in Hartford. I don't know. I always get confused where they play.
Yeah. I think they bounce back and forth.
But if they clean up that stretch, we might be looking at this UConn team saying they're an all-time great team, and that's what's I guess frustrating.
When they're a 1 seed, changes everything.
They would have been a 1 seed,
yeah,
but they were a 4 seed. So here I thought Miami had a chance just in the sense that like Miami had beaten some good teams coming into this thing. They also, the way Miami plays is unstoppable in the sense of like if Miami's just gonna hit everything they throw up, there is no, like if they just get freaking red hot, like what can you ultimately do as UConn? So I thought they had like a puncher's chance, but UConn has been so dominant and they're so deep, and the game played out about how I expected. The game played out about how I expected.
I think you called it over at 9-0.
It was 9-0. I was like, you were right. I think I think Sonogo hit his first 3, and I called it over.
3-0. Yeah.
Well, he was the second one. I think Hawkins went first when it was 6-0. Yeah. Hawkins hit the first one, I think, and then Sonogo hit one, and I was like, that's game. And then Sonogo hit another one. I was like, that's really game.
The only, I think, Miami storyline was Shoegate.
Oh, yeah.
Nigel Pack.
Yeah. $400,000 a year to go to Miami, and he can't even get 2 pairs of shoes. What did we find out what happened with like the walk? Like, was there no walk-on to step up?
Yeah, I think he was like the only one with his size or something. So like you couldn't just trade the.
That's a.
The head manager Jason for Miami is Shoe Boy, as he calls himself. Yeah. He's the one who sprinted back, and I think the broadcast caught him.
But what did he do? Do you know what he grabbed? Like he just grabbed like what shoes?
Yeah.
This is a lesson for all the coaches out there. You need a walk-on who wears the same size shoe as your best player. It's important. You have to have that. I remember a game when we played at Purdue. I think it was my senior year. I think it was the game. It was the game. People listening will know what I'm talking about. I doubt anyone in this room will, but Robbie Hummel had like 25 points at halftime, and then Evan, something like that, and then Evan Turner scored like 25 in the second half, and we beat Purdue at Purdue. It was a top 10 matchup. But going into that game, Will Buford forgot his shoes, and so he had to wear my shoes. And luckily we were playing at Purdue, and I'm from Indiana, so my parents lived like an hour away. So I called them as like before the game tipped off, and I was like, because the plan, if we were playing in Minnesota, I would have just simply had no shoes. I would have had no shoes. Will basically like this. We're an hour before tip, 2 hours before tip probably. And Will comes over to me and just goes, walk on. And I was like, what's I'm kidding. He
didn't call you that. I'm kidding. Like a pledge.
He goes, yo, man, I forgot to pack my shoes. What size you wear? And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, man, can I get your shoes? So I gave him my shoes, but then I started doing the math, and I was like, if he has my shoes, what shoes am I? I didn't pack 2 pair.
Yeah.
What shoes am I going to wear? So I called my parents, and my dad brought up like just some old beaten down pair that I wore in high school or something that I guess he had in like the garage, and I wore those to warm. I mean, I didn't play in the game, so it didn't matter.
Well, the golden question
point. But like I warmed up in those shoes against Purdue.
How did he do in your shoes?
I think he played well. Okay. I don't know, pull up the box score.
What game?
I think it was
Ohio State Purdue 2000.
It was January 12th, 2010. I remember it was my sister's birthday. That's why I remember.
Okay.
Also, Mr. Rainmaker came out on that day. Deep cut. That was when I published Mr. Rainmaker from the hotel room in West Lafayette, Indiana. I hit post on YouTube, and then I went to
Evan Turner scored 32.
He had 32.
You guys won 76-6. That's right.
Yeah, Purdue was up 12 at halftime because Hummel was balling out.
19 points in 36 minutes for Buford.
He had 19.
Yeah,
dude, let's go.
If this is the right game,
yeah, it might have been.
And you guys were down 12 at half.
Yeah, that's what Hummel was going nuts, and then Evan went nuts in the second half, and we beat Purdue. But
wow,
yeah, Will had 19.
Yeah,
that feels like game. I might be getting
your shoes like Mike.
I might have my years mixed up. Maybe it was the year before, but if he scored 19, then I'm gonna go with that. That it was that year. I think it was that year.
Do you guys play at Purdue every year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we played at Purdue just about every year. But that happened. Yeah, that's where my mind went with the Nigel Pack story. I was like, why is there not a walk on that's like, take my shoes, Nigel, and like just, throwing them at him.
Right.
That's crazy though that they have that. That's a bad look for Adidas too. Bad look for Adidas.
Yeah. Didn't Nike go through the same thing when Zion ripped through his shoe against UNC?
They couldn't find a shoe to replace it? Or
I think they did, but the fact that his shoe wasn't durable enough to
Yeah. I think that was more Zion's fat.
Oh.
I think that's more. Right. I think the conclusion we all drew there was
I just remember people tweeting like Nike there's a bad look for Nike.
Oh, I gotta go back and look at my tweets because I'm pretty sure I was like
during that
I was like, Zion. My God, dude.
Yeah.
Putting stress on this stuff.
Fair.
Today's show is brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook, the one and only sportsbook of this show and Barstool Sports. The Barstool Sportsbook is made for you, the loyal fans and listeners, and is the only place to find exclusive picks and parlays from Big Cat, El Prez, and yours truly. I got my make shots parlay put on the sportsbook. We don't need to talk about what happened. I'll just say this: the first game hit the over, and no one saw that coming. So in some ways, some people would consider that a win. Unfortunately, the Barstool Sportsbook did not. Follow or fade us. It's up to you. Now offering a $1,000 bonus for new players. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So download and create an account today. Use code Titus to unlock your $1,000 bonus. The Barstool Sportsbook lets you bet however you like with daily odds boosts, live in-game wagering, move the line and teaser bets, and Parlay Plus for bigger payouts. iCasino is also available in select states with table games and slots. If you love the Mark Titus Show, and boy, I know you do, you got to get the Barstool Sportsbook. So download and create an account today, and be sure to use code Titus to unlock your $1,000 bonus. That's the Barstool Sportsbook, code Titus. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah, so where were we? UConn. So UConn San Diego State. National championship tonight for the people listening. What to expect is this. I think UConn's going to roll. I like San Diego State a lot. I don't mean to, somewhere along the line, first of all, can I say this? Because a lot of people chirping at me. We have a crazy coach versus a Mountain West team, and they're like, RIP
you're
Manifesto.
Screwed. Yeah. Well, your manifesto was screwed.
So do I get a rebuttal? Or do I get,
your show.
Is this not my show? Can I not spin zone this for a second? First of all, the crazy coach part of the manifesto was always close game situations. The fear with the crazy coach is that it's a 3-point game with 5 minutes left, and it's such a high leverage pressure situation that you need the players to just take a deep breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's all calm down, keep our composure. And the man they're looking to help them keep the composure is losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
That was a scenario I painted in my head. Now, UConn has skirted that whole scenario by just simply blowing everybody out, Jake. So I feel like if Dan Hurley
pumps up the crowd,
exactly. So he's actually, like, we haven't actually tested the crazy coach theory because UConn has not been put to the test of like it's coming down to the wire. Can they keep their composure here? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that a fair explanation?
Think about it. Like when there's a crazy player, crazy players can play well. Hurley's just a crazy player mentality, just wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Right? If that makes sense. I might not at all, but
no, I'm saying, but what I'm saying is the whole reason I came up with the idea that a crazy coach can't win a national championship is because somewhere along the line, there will be a pressure packed moment where his insanity will detract from, will be a liability.
But you're saying because they've blown him out in every game, there's
we've never
adversity.
Had those. Yes,
there's no adversity.
So ipso facto, the crazy coach theory has not even been put to the test at all. Even though he's probably going to win a national championship tonight. the theory still might stand.
Like you pointed out to me, the walk-ons have played in all 5 tournament games, which
they get in
says
every
enough.
Game. Yes. So if the walk-ons are
you'd
getting
have dreamed
in,
to get in one tournament game, right?
I got in.
You
one.
got in one. You got in one. You
Come
told
on
me.
My
you
show
told
and
me.
disrespect that I would dream to.
You told me.
You don't remember the rebound I got against Central Connecticut in 2007?
Yes.
Dude, that should be a dozen trivia questions.
Should I leave?
Jeff D. Lowe should
bad.
ask that trivia question on the dozen and just he should do
Ohio
that.
State player.
You know what he should do? But
Make
now
it your niche. Mark
me,
Titus's career.
My new niche on the dozen is Mark Titus's career rebounds in the NCAA tournament, and it's just the same question over and over.
Don't you have nine of them?
No, I have one in the tournament.
No, but your career.
I have 9 points.
9 points. Okay.
Yeah. But his punishment for Brandon, because Brandon cheated his balls off in the dozen.
He misses like half a game or something.
Yeah, he should instead. I'm ruining it because I'm saying this publicly now, but don't tell Brandon. But then like every question that Brandon gets for the rest of the season, the answer somehow is related to me because that would drive Brandon insane. It's like I can't be the answer, but just like make it
phone a friend,
make it like impossible. Because if you asked a question about Central Connecticut State in 2007, Brandon would lose his mind at how hard it is, and then the answer pops up that it's me. Just envision that scenario. He would go crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, suck it, Brandon. Where were we?
This game.
I
should roll.
I think UConn will roll. The Mountain West part of this though.
Oh yeah.
The part of the manifesto.
You're still right. They were awful. Every other team.
Thank you, Jake.
Every other team was disgustingly bad in this tournament.
I think my spin zone on San Diego State being a Mountain West team playing for a national championship is that you have graduated from the Mountain West. You are officially in the Pac-12 now. Like you have officially bumped your way up. So like the invitation will come any day now, and we'll look back on this and say that was the run. That was like at this point the Mountain West still stunk. You know, San Diego State was good. So anyway,
correct.
Back to this game. I like San Diego State. I like their program. I like their fans. I like their campus. They treated me really well the one game I went there. I like their student section. I could go on and on. Great people. The problem with this game, beyond like UConn being so freaking good and so deep, is that every strength that San Diego State has does not play against UConn's weaknesses, you know, and like UConn, San Diego State has won the Florida Atlantic game notwithstanding. They pull teams into the mud and they muck it up, and that's how they beat you. They make it ugly, and they're comfortable with that, and they're comfortable with slow games. They're comfortable with grind it out, physical. We have a very deep bench, and we're experienced, and we can throw guys at you just over and over and over. I think UConn's comfortable with that too. I think UConn has proven to be comfortable with just about anything in any style of play, and that's the fear on the San Diego State side of things, is that this UConn team has a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. And that's where it gets tough, is because whatever tone this game takes on, I like UConn to win it, you know?
But I think we mentioned this in the last show. The only what if is if it's close, UConn has not been in this tournament situation yet.
Dan Hurley might go crazy. That's interesting.
Right. That's the only thing. But if they blow them out like they have been, nothing.
But
to
if
worry
you're doing
about.
like just the X's and O's, like on paper, what the rosters are. I mean, UConn definitively has the 3 best players in this game. Sonogo, Hawkins, and Jackson are. And that's no disrespect to the San Diego State guys. It's just a matter of fact that those 3 guys are more talented on an individual level than anybody on San Diego State's roster. That's not how this game works. Duke, once upon a time, had 3 guys that were more talented than everyone else against Michigan State, and Michigan State beat them in the Elite 8. That these things can happen, but they have at least 3. Donovan Clingan might be 4 if you want to throw him in there. I think he's going to
could be in that conversation.
Yeah, that's where the debate starts happening, is like Clingan or Bradley on an individual level, just in terms of raw talent. And from that standpoint, I mean, like it's kind of like an open and shut case for me in terms of like trying to figure out who's going to win this thing. I would be way more surprised. I'm trying to gauge like the surprise level.
Listen,
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Just trying to like put it in perspective, like how big of a spread and favorite UConn is. This is an 8-point spread. I'm pretty sure Furman, Virginia was like 5.5 or 6. That's a 13 over a 4.
Yeah.
Vermont, Marquette, that was a 10-point spread of 15 over a 2. And this is 8. Like, that's right there. Like, I understand it's a 4 versus a 5, but like the way things are going right now, this would be a very big upset.
It would be in a national championship game, an 8-point spread is crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. This isn't. It would be a very big upset, but it's also not like San Diego State's not a good team and not a deserving team, and not. So I'm trying to like figure out where I land on, because I don't want to go into this game saying that they have no shot, because that's just not true. They do have a shot, and UConn, I mean, at times is you slow. If San Diego State's hope, their prayer is this, is that they are going to have to make it ugly. They're going to have to slow it down. They're going to have to, like when UConn went through that losing stretch in January, their half-court offense was not great. You have to turn this into a half-court game. Now, UConn's half-court offense, obviously in this tournament, is red hot. They're incredible. Their defense has been. I understand all that. This is the only prayer San Diego State has: slow the game down, try to get really physical with UConn, and then you have to on the offensive side. You're going to need a superhero effort from Trammell and Matt Bradley and Lamont Butler. You're just going to need these guys to just like ball out. You're going to need Jaden Ledee to. Bring what he brought at the end of the Florida Atlantic game, where he's like ISO post move, spin move, baby hook over and over, in the lane. Like, you're gonna need that. It's not gonna. They don't need a miracle, but I just like as I'm thinking about like ways San Diego, like if I'm on San Diego State's coaching staff and I'm trying to figure out like what the advantage we have over UConn is. I don't really know that there is one, Jake. I don't know that there is one. Yeah.
FDU against Purdue on paper.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
It's one game. It's a tournament. Like, would it be shocking? No. Would it be surprising? Yes.
So right? where do you fall on the surprising scale? How wild would it be if San Diego State won? You're more of a wild guy than a shocking guy.
Yeah. But in this case, I don't think it would be wild, because wild's like, whoa, that's wild. This would just be like surprising. Like, wow.
So it's not even wild. It doesn't even register on the wild scale. If San Diego State wins a national championship.
Well,
if this team beats UConn,
beating this UConn team would be
if they
crazy.
win on Monday.
Okay, you know what? I think crazy is on the wild meter, so it would be crazy. So technically, it's in the window.
It's in the window of
the wild meter. I think it's whoa, crazy, wild, and this is wild.
On a scale of to whoa, that's wild.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
So I contradicted myself, but
this is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm like 7. I would probably be 7 out of 10 surprised. 7.5,
like,
maybe 8.
Going back to what I said,
7 to 8
what
on like
seed
a
upset surprise would you be by this? Like, would this be a Furman over Virginia, like a 13 over a 4?
Yeah,
like,
but that's different. I mean, I see what you're what you're doing.
Spreads,
I hear. I understand what you're. And that is a good way to like contextualize it. But I just think like for national championship games, it becomes different because you're now dealing with teams
like
that have
history
that have got but you've got like the jitters, because like the NCAA tournament is such a different beast from the regular season that there's a lot of times that, I mean, we were talking to Tobin Anderson on the live show about it, that when you're playing an NCAA tournament, the neutral crowds, that like the vibe is so different from what you've had all season, where Fairleigh Dickinson is playing in Columbus and suddenly they're beating Purdue and like the people are rallying behind them, and you got like I forget who all was there, Marquette and Vermont fans, and was Michigan State there as well?
That was actually Memphis FAU.
Whatever the mixture of fans were.
Michigan State USC was
they're suddenly like rallying behind.
Everyone roots for the underdog.
And the point is like these sort of environments, if you're the favorite, can be a little weird and a little like, like the pressure starts mounting a little sooner. And my point is like once you get to a national championship game, both of these teams are comfortable with like where like that whole element of it all. Like it's no longer the tournament play is no longer weird. It's like we know what we're getting into. It's more of like
that's fair.
And
you've already played one game in this massive venue with an elevated floor and 70,000 people.
I do think that you get more of a like upsets are a lot rarer in national championship games for that reason, because it's a more of a like the quirkiness of the tournament.
Gordon Hayward,
the new ball. The new ball and like you said, they've already played in this arena. Like all that kind of stuff is, you've kind of worked out those kinks at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, anything could happen. And this San Diego State team is good. And I like them. I still shout out to my guys that my girlfriend's best friend got married in the fall, Jake, and her friend's a San Diego State alum. She married a San Diego State alum, and we went to the wedding, and it was all San Diego State alums. And I had a group of San Diego State bros. They're all bros. There's not a single guy that goes to San Diego State that's not a bro.
PFT actually said this was the broiest Final Four ever.
Yeah,
FAU,
UConn,
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Does UConn have bros? I don't know. I've never been to
TJ,
UConn,
you're a Northeast guy. He
bros?
says they're
lacrosse bros. Yeah, lacrosse
Connecticut.
Bros. That's true.
Avon, Old Farms, Greenwich.
There we go.
I know those spots. Yeah.
But these dudes at the wedding kept telling me that this is going to be San Diego State's best team ever, and I'll always remember like laughing in their face, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you guys in 2020 started 26-0. In 2011, Kawhi Leonard won you 34 games and, got to the Sweet 16 and all that. And I'll be damned, Jake, they might be right. I still think they're wrong. I still think that the 2011 team is better than this team, but 2011 team wasn't playing for a national championship,
right.
So
Kawhi.
there you have it. Yeah. There you have it. So
yeah.
Tired of being soft when you should be hard? 40% of men suffer from hormonal imbalances and low testosterone, and no one is willing to talk about it. The average male testosterone level has decreased by 26% over the past 3 decades. The situation is you have a bunch of guys that are depressed, they don't have energy, they can't focus, they're gaining weight faster, their libido is gone. Elevated by AstroFlav is an all-natural testosterone booster containing 2 powerful ingredients, Fedosia agrestis and Tongkat Ali. This combination in Elevated has shown results of 250-point increase in total testosterone, but can be anywhere between 200 to 400-point increase. Increased testosterone levels means increase in energy, improvements in libido, reduction in stress levels, while building muscle and burning fat. Elevated by AstroFlav has over 500,000 bottles sold to men with amazing results. Get a free 2-week trial of Elevated. Available at astroflav.com/barstool. Just pay shipping. I'm hoping for a good game. I don't mean to, apologies to Aztecs fans listening. I don't mean to say you guys have no shot. So if I hear my voice, I swear to God, if San Diego State wins the national championship and I hear my voice on the championship DVD talking about how they had no shot.
They still make DVDs?
I don't know. I will always.
Everyone talks about championship DVDs.
I'll be 91 years old, still trying to buy the championship DVDs.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just popped in my head.
I think they have to. I think you're required by law to, if you win a championship.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually count. You can't raise a banner unless you make a.
It might not be playable when you put it in the DVD player, but it's a DVD.
A little bit of a side tangent here. What is the one team you care more about than any other in the entire world? That winning the championship would mean the most to you?
The Yankees.
The Yankees. Okay. Yeah. So the Yankees win the World Series. What item are you buying to commemorate? Just a shirt?
I think a shirt is the number one. Just like championship shirt.
Okay. Would you buy the Yankee shirt, TJ? Is that the move?
Yeah.
Hoodie, shirt.
Yeah, hoodie
shirt. The locker room thing.
Yeah, seeing what they have champagne on.
What they're popping the champagne on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they overnight the packages to all those stores in the area.
I think that's what I did when the Cubs won the World Series. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just there's so many little trinkets you can buy.
Right.
Like the a championship DVD.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't buy the championship DVD for the Cubs. I should go see if they have that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Got to bring DVDs back.
But I swear to God, San Diego State, if I hear my voice on your little fucking celebration video you tweet out, where you're like, they said we couldn't do it, and then it's like a montage.
Who did that last year,
everybody?
The year before? They compiled all the media talking about them. They were like a 7 or a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament. They won 1 game. And they're like, proved you wrong.
Was that not Maryland this year?
I think. Was that this year?
Was that this year? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a blur. But yes, that's what it was.
Maryland this year.
Yeah.
Maryland, beat West Virginia in the first game of the tournament, and then they.
Yes.
But you're talking. Someone else made a video.
Someone made a video of people talking about them. And it was like a 7 or a 10 seed.
I don't hate it. I mean, if I that's what sucks about.
People tweet at me if you know what I'm talking.
What sucks about being in this business, Jake, is you're just a hypocrite at all times because the shit I want to complain about, I know that if it was Ohio State, I would if Ohio State put out a video where all these talking heads were saying you guys sucked and then we won. I would retweet the shit out of that, and I would be like, "Yeah, suck it all, you did."
You could say 99,
but at the same time, when it happens to me, I'm like, "This is unfair."
99 good things, but if you have one bad take, people will hop on you for that take.
So my ultimate point with all this is, I don't mean to suggest that San Diego State has no shot. I'm just looking at this objectively. I as I play out like different scenarios in my head, I think UConn. That's what makes this UConn team special. Is that it's not. They didn't get this far like how Miami kind of did, where Miami, not that their run was a fluke, but Miami was playing better.
Beat some good teams.
Yeah, it was.
That SDSU didn't. They knocked out the number
I said
one
it wasn't a fluke.
seed.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not yelling.
Why are you yelling at me? I said it was not a fluke.
I never said fluke.
Who said fluke? I didn't say it. I said it wasn't a fluke.
Okay. I see what you're doing. It took me a while there.
But Miami played better basketball in the tournament than they had throughout the season, and I kind of had a feeling Miami at some point the other shoe is going to drop. But then like once they made the Final Four, I was like, maybe it won't. I don't know. Maybe they'll just keep making everything. But this UConn team is not. This run has not been that way where it's like they have to rely on playing just red hot offense and uncharacteristically good defense. Like they can, as we saw in the first half, you can have Jordan Hawkins do a whole lot of nothing and deal with his what do you say was calamari? Was that the ultimate
I think
culprit?
he said calamari.
He's dealing with his calamari diarrhea.
Yeah.
And Andre Jackson is in foul trouble. And you're still blowing Miami out. They can hit all sorts of curveballs. They can handle anything. And for that reason, every scenario I play out in my head, UConn is a better team. They have more talent. They feel like the better team. They're going to have more confidence going into this game, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think they also have like the unfinished business part. Like what have these two teams been doing the last 48 hours? UConn was like they beat Miami. They didn't celebrate at all.
It was like we knew we'd be playing.
We knew we'd be playing. Ho hum. Let's lock in. Let's get ready for Monday. San Diego State beats Florida Atlantic. I don't know if have they looked at tape on UConn yet, or have they still been high fiving each? Do you think they?
Yeah, just the high
you know what I mean?
Buzzer beater.
Like
but they have easy bulletin board material because everyone says this game is over. Right. Everyone's like UConn's gonna blow them out.
Yeah, you're right. So. No, you're right. I think that's the mindset. Is like if you're San Diego State, you go in, you say we have nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Your season's over tonight anyway. Yeah. Win or lose, you're done tonight anyway. This is our last ride together, fellas.
Loser goes home.
Yeah.
So does the winner.
So does the winner. Yeah. So let's take some punches and let's take some big swings and see what happens. But I think that's their only hope is they got to slow this thing down. Because Trammell and Butler just being undersized. Like I just think like UConn's length on the perimeter is just going to swallow those guys up. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me wants to cheer for San Diego State. It'd be a fun story. But UConn feels like a worthy champion. We're gonna do a show. We can do all this later. I'm like getting ahead of myself trying to like talk through UConn legacy thing. Yeah, hypotheticals. We can do that if they win it. Save it for that. But I'm fired up. It'll be a good national championship. I think for all the ups and downs and everything else of the season and of the tournament and the chaos that happened to the tournament and everything else. I think at the end of the day we are getting a great national championship and two great teams. I hope it's a great game. If it's not, I do think it reflects more on UConn's dominance than San Diego State's.
Yeah, definitely. By far the
being
best
a fraud.
Team. Yeah.
I just there's no way San Diego State's going to blow them out. Which
we've been wrong before.
There's no way.
We thought they were done at halftime.
That would be 10 out of 10 shocking if San Diego State wins by like
10 plus.
10 plus, yeah, or not even 10 plus. If San Diego State If San Diego State dribbles the clock out and UConn waves the white flag,
whoa!
Like if we see Matt Bradley dribbling the clock at halftime, at half court, and it's down to like 4-3, and he picks up his dribble and just like throws the ball into the stands that the bench is running on because UConn stopped fouling.
And Jim Nantz's final call.
Yeah, they were up so much that UConn just stopped fouling. That would be 11 out of 10 shocking. That has to register as wild for you, right?
Yeah,
that's wild.
Definitely.
There's nothing like the excitement of the big tournament, but every buzzer beater for your team is someone else's bracket buster, and every game is a chance to turn the tables. When your pride or your money is on the line and you need to take a beat, take a moment to chill with an ice-cold Coors Light. I cannot imagine how many Coors Lights are being cracked open in Boca Raton after Florida Atlantic. What a way to lose a basketball game. If I was an FAU fan, I'm flying right back to Boca Raton. I'm hitting the beach. I'm taking a cooler full of Coors Light. I'm turning my phone off. and I don't know, and there is no anything else after that. I'm just seeing what happens after that, because there's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. When the mountains turn blue, it is as cold as the Rockies. When you need to hit reset, just crack open an ice cold Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. When you need a strategic timeout from the madness, reach for a Coors Light. It is the beer that is made to chill, so you can refresh the spirit and jump back into the excitement. Get Coors Light and the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/Titus. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Do you have a prediction on Jim Nantz's final call? Do you think about this sort of thing? What would your final call be?
Well, it depends on the game, because like if it's a buzzer beater, you can't prep for a buzzer beater. But if it's a blowout, you can start thinking about it like the under 4 timeout.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. You can't. Yeah.
Like,
do you think he writes these out? Has anyone asked him about this?
So people get asked this all the time on like if they script their final calls. A lot of them say no, it comes naturally. It comes in your mind a little bit, at least in my perspective.
Okay.
So I'll speak for myself here. Like if it's a blowout, you're like, all right, I got to start thinking about this. If it's UConn and they win it in a blowout again, I would be like, I think he's going to be something along the lines of, and UConn back on top where they were before. Something alluding to like reasserting their dominance.
Do you think he'll go like pun? Do you think he'll try to be punny? Do you think he'll be like, these dogs are barking, folks?
Husky Nation has another one.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
The Connecticut Huskies back on top.
What about San Diego State?
Yeah, no, that was just for UConn.
Oh, that was
San
for
Diego State.
Okay.
And the confetti falls black and red in 2023.
Oh, okay. This is
I think he's used that one before. But
the 2020 redemption.
Yes.
Hindsight. What about this one? Hindsight is 2020.
Oh,
San Diego State would have won it. Damn.
I think that's too wordy.
Too
Sorry.
wordy. Fuck. This is why I'm not a play-by-play guy.
Not to burst your bubble there, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we just nailed it.
And San Diego State has 2020 vision as the Aztecs get redemption
3 years later.
What about that one?
Yeah,
that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that could work.
That
could be something that's like said like a minute after the final call.
Yeah. Okay.
Like 3 years ago, it was on. They had
what
a
do you think
silver
about
platter.
What do you think about the Nantz tribute? I went on my preview before the Final Four. I said, you might want to plug your ears for this, Jake, but I said, I don't need a Jim Nantz like farewell. We don't need like that.
That's rude. Did you see what he said to me? I interviewed him Friday. He told me he was proud of me. That made my day.
Okay. I have nothing against Jim Nantz. It was not a shot at Jim Nantz. It's a shot at like the idea that every time someone has spent more than 10 years in college basketball decides to hang it up, we now need to like jerk that person off and lose sight of like what we're actually here for, which is to crown a national champion. So like Jim Nantz
did it on Final Four Saturday, not Championship Monday.
He didn't ask for it either, by the way.
Right.
I don't think he
looked
asked
genuinely
for it.
surprised.
So
on
this is not a Jim Nantz rant. This is like a societal rant.
Yeah,
this is
fair.
like a where we've arrived, where like everyone needs a farewell tour and all that sort of thing. He got one on Saturday. Do you think he gets one on Monday as well?
No.
You think that the job was done? I agree with you. I think we if he gets one on Monday, I will vomit.
I don't think he will.
I will vomit.
The broadcast recognized him. Maybe
on my shirt
after the end of the game. Bill Raftery and Grant Hill could be like, "Congratulations on a heck of a year, my friend."
Yeah,
or a heck of a career in college basketball. Like he's not retiring fully; he's still doing golf and NFL.
Yeah, that's what TJ and I were talking about. Was like if you wanted to be a Jim Nantz hater, and I don't, I do not. So this is not me saying this, but like if I did want to be a Jim Nantz hater, I would say this man just kind of pops in at college basketball to call the Big Ten tournament and then call a few NCAA tournament games, and then he goes on to greener pastures.
Well, look,
and
NFL is his number one.
So is he really a college basketball guy, or is he a Jim Nantz guy, and he just likes the big spotlight? Like, is he calling Rutgers Northwestern and Piscataway on Big Ten Network Plus like Robbie Hummel is?
That's my takeaway. Is that's not his fault. That's the way the networks are set up. CBS doesn't start doing games like on CBS itself. They do the CBS Sports Network, but like until like after New Year's, and he's locked in on NFL playoffs at that time. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Like, when's the first time? Have you ever seen aside from like the CBS Sports Classic that Ohio State I think plays in?
Yeah.
That's in December. Aside from that, I don't know if
does
there's
he do
games.
That? I don't think he does.
He doesn't.
No,
I don't think there's games on the actual CBS like network.
Big boy CBS
until later on.
You're right.
So that's not his fault.
He could.
You want him to go down to CBS Sports Network?
I'm just saying, if he wants the respect of the streets, like, would it kill him to call one A10 game on CBS Sports Network in the middle of the season? Just one. Just toss us one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just show us that you care, Jim.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Great career, Jim, in college basketball. Yes.
No, I love Jim Nantz. I do. I'm being stupid on purpose. I love him. I just like but I genuinely do hate farewell tours, and I hate like. I want to respect Jim Nantz, and I want to give him his due and say this is, it is an end of an era, and you grow up watching this guy call these games, and his voice is synonymous with some of the biggest moments in college basketball history. But also, I want the shine to be on the players winning the national championship.
I think it will be. I think that's why they did it early in game 1 of the Final Four.
Yeah, so I hope that's always my fear with this stuff is like, I don't want to shit on Jim Nantz. It's just like, I don't want people to come away from this talking about how this was Jim Nantz's last Final Four. I want him to talk about whoever wins the national championship.
Discussed already, so I'd be surprised.
Which is why we're not going to talk about this, because it might incite a race war. But the freaking LSU national champ. This is why I was like losing my. I went into this the women's national championship. I'm talking about
LSU
that we just watched not too long ago. I went into this not really caring about either team. Caitlin Clark certainly has my attention, and I love watching her play. But I just wanted to watch her play. I didn't care if she won. But my God, I hate Kim Mulkey, and like I cannot stand Kim Mulkey. And the reason why is similar to what I was just bitching about. Like, her whole thing is like, look at me, and I'm like, and it dawned on me that Liz Kidley and Georgia Moore play for Virginia Tech. Aaliyah Boston plays for South Carolina. Caitlin Clark plays for Iowa. I could name players on every single one of these teams in the Final Four. Going into this game, I didn't know a single player on LSU. I just knew Kim Mulkey was the coach, and that's bullshit. And and then I watched the whole game, and like even then, I still, as I see here right now, who Reese, was that the girl?
Angel Reese.
Okay.
Who did John Cena?
And then who was the girl the girl that was hitting all the shots? Like Carson was it?
Let me check.
The blonde fro was hitting everything in the first half. But my point is, like, I didn't know any of the names of the girls because freaking Kim Mulkey like makes it all about herself at all times. And and I'm watching this national championship. I'm like, man, LSU's playing out of their mind. This team's awesome. They would be fun to root for, but their coach is a goon.
Jasmine Carson, you're right.
Yeah, Jasmine Carson. She was awesome. Yeah, that's the tie in there. Is like I just hate like. I hate when people get to it's like let the players have their shine, man. This is like the biggest moment of their lives, and they're the ones that are out there playing. Like, I hate.
Congrats to LSU though. Iowa. Caitlin Clark is phenomenal.
How many people are listening to this? Are like, did this man just liken Kim Mulkey to Jim Nantz? As though they're. Do they have anything in common? I love Jim Nantz. Apologies to the Nantz family. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I just want to make sure we have perspective here with all this stuff. All right, so you're going to the game tomorrow?
Yes.
You'll be at the
back
game
down to Houston.
Yeah, we're recording this in Lake Charles. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Shout out LaBerge.
LaBerge.
Penn property, yes.
I'm glad you said it because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
LaBerge.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, so I am going to be with the gambling boys on the stream tomorrow, watching the national championship here at the Barstool Sportsbook and at LaBerge. Jake's going back to the game. You're going to do a show with me, though, correct?
Yeah,
you're going to make an appearance.
Hop on Zoom.
Yeah,
to discuss
we
my
need boots on the ground. I need all the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah, so. I'm gonna be on the floor with the champion.
Okay,
like when I did Dusty May post game Elite Eight. Hopefully, I can get an exclusive with the head coach.
Nice.
All right, we'll see. I'll just bring you my perspective.
All right, so we'll be doing that after the game. We're gonna record it right after the national title game, and we'll put that out. Best of luck to both teams. I'm hoping for a good game. That's all I care about. Are you cheering for one team one way or another? Be careful because people will come at you if you don't say their team. But
I would
you
love
can be
a
honest.
close game.
Yeah,
I think we would have, or I guess I would have more access in a post game celebration if UConn won. Given that Dan Hurley just came on part of my take.
That's true.
I think I'm more like I talked to him on Final Four Friday. I got an exclusive with him for a minute. So I've never met Coach Dutcher for SDSU. One of their assistants is a Stooley in AWS. Maybe he could open the door, but I would think there's more of a likely